There's one researcher that lives here in the Valley and a great speaker. His name is Michael Schratt, and he is a great military aviation historian. And he can pretty much tell you what is what on stuff. I've talked with Michael many times about the Phoenix Lights, and he and I both agree that that's not our stuff.
What makes him say that? What do you mean? What?
Well, the fact that, back in 1997, our technology wasn't that cool back then, okay? Yeah. This thing that flew across the whole state of Arizona
Did you witness this?
I did not. Okay. I lived here, but I did not see it.
You were like, dang, I shouldn't have stayed inside that night.
Yeah, I had people from out of state actually call me and say, hey, there was a UFO in Arizona last night? And I'm like, what? So,
and this is before you were in the MUFON.
Right.
Okay.
This is before.
What was your opinion at the time when you...
My kids saw it. Okay. I did not see it.
Interesting.
But, the thing that flew across this state, and there wasn't just one. People don't realize there were 7 or 8 craft.
Wow.
Throughout all parts of the state that different people were seeing.
All big ones?
I'm not sure the size of them, but the one giant one, the boomerang-shaped thing that flew diagonally across this state, was so low and so slow and completely silent. We don't have that. We did not have that back in 97. Something that big that makes 0 sound and can be that low. I mean, everything we have that goes fast or that stays up in the air makes
really
big
loud
sound. Okay, we got propulsion that makes sound, giant sound. Well, back then we didn't have any technology to do that. We still don't, that I know of. So really, when you think of something that was the size of football fields in length, something that could fit, I don't know how many 747s on each side of it they said could go on there, something like 20. Okay, that's how big this thing was. It was huge. And for that thing to be flying so silently and so low right over the heart of a major metropolitan city and making 0 noise, you just had to look up to see it. Yeah. Or notice that maybe the stars had been blanked out somewhere like that, And yeah, I wish I could see something like that. That would be the coolest. To see the stars disappear behind, the wings of something like that.
Were the Phoenix Lights all after dark?
No, there was some during the day. I know there's reports of a bunch of people between Phoenix and Flagstaff on I-17. There's that big rest area called Sunset Rest Area or something like that right on the way up there. And there was people that were pulled off on both sides of the road watching this giant craft, and I don't think it was the same one. It was something different, flying down through that big canyon that's just to the west of that rest area. Everyone, hundreds of people pulled over to the side of the road watching this.
Dang.
There was another report of a Little League baseball game happening in Phoenix where, you had both teams, the coaches, the refs, the spectators on both sides, everything just stopped, and they just all stood there and watched this thing go right overhead. So there's reports of this. I mean, there was tens of thousands of eyewitnesses to the Phoenix Lights. It's still, to date, the largest mass sighting of any UFO ever. So we had tens of thousands of people that were eyewitnesses to this. We had 1,000 911 calls on it. And
did they scramble fighter jets or anything like that? I
heard that they did. I can't verify that. I heard that they did. I've heard from a couple different sources that happened. I know that out of, I think it was Davis-Monthan Air Force Base south of here, they did scramble a bunch of A-10 Warthogs. And they tried to cover up the whole story by bringing in a group that was called, I think it was Operation Snowbird. So the sighting that really happened was about 8:30 at night. And then what they said the sighting was later, there was a bunch of flares, military flares that they did drop at 10:30 at night to cover up the story. They said, oh no, we dropped flares. That's what you people were seeing. Nothing to see here, folks. It was really 10:30. It wasn't 8:30.
Swamp gas from Florida.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there was a cover up on that they tried, but it's, there's the military flare thing just doesn't fly. Yeah.
Have you ever had to try to have Fife Symington, who was like the governor at the time, come and attend a Phoenix MUFON or anything like that?
No, we haven't asked him. From what I understand, he's living in California somewhere now, living the life of leisure, and I don't think he delves into this. He was an eyewitness, and he says, I'm not sure I believe that, though.
What do you mean?
Because he debunked it so badly on camera in the State House down here, to such a bad degree when he brought out that guy dressed up as an alien that was so demeaning and so insulting to everyone who really did witness this event. And he lost a lot of likes on that one. I mean, people just hated his guts. So then all of a sudden later he comes out and says, yeah, I did see that. I witnessed the Phoenix Lights too. I'm sorry, but yeah, I did. Well, who's going to believe him now? You lied once before. Who's to say you're not lying again now? I don't believe him because it would just be so easy for any politician to say that.
Other than the validation of the people he pissed off over 20 years ago, what reason would he have to come out now and say, I believe that it's unexplainable, it wasn't ours, it wasn't flares, and I did see it? What's the motivation behind that?
I don't know, just to jump on the fun wagon, I guess. And James Fox, got him on camera stating all this, and James did a great documentary called I Know What I Saw that has Fife Symington on there stating his stuff. So yeah, you can believe him or not. I simply don't because I just don't.
Yeah. One of the frustrating things for me personally about the Phoenix Lights is, unlike Roswell, there's not a whole lot of tangible things that we can do to further investigate it. And again, I'm not a ufologist, right? So maybe I'm wrong here. But like Roswell, there's a lot of eyewitness accounts. There's witnesses who were there who helped clean it up. There's newspaper articles. There's just paper trails, right? But with this, it was kind of like, from what I'm gathering, lots of videos of lights, lots of people talking about seeing the lights, but then the government said it was flares, and then that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
There's no whistleblowers. Like, I was scrambled, I saw it, I was up close, I tried to scramble. Like, there's none of that, right? Yeah. So I guess, am I wrong? Is there more things that maybe I'm just not looking into about the Phoenix Lights?
When you look at the origin of the Phoenix Lights, the craft that people were seeing, I think it started basically in Henderson, Nevada. So Las Vegas, coming from that area all the way across the state, pretty much followed our freeway all the way down, all the way across the border.
Was this after Will Smith's Independence Day came out?
When did that come out?
That was early 90s, might have been.
Yeah, so this was 97.
They were probably like, shoot, someone beat us there already. We got to go.
Got our idea. But, so a lot of people have said, well, it had to be something from Area 51. It came from that area. It had to be something. So if that was the case, you have to look at it two different ways. If it was ours, super secret thing that we're keeping up there at Area 51, so what, we let it loose and we go parade it over the top of a major metropolitan city?
Yeah.
That's a really good way to keep it secret, so that doesn't really fly with me. So if it was something alien, say it was theirs, still maybe it escaped, it got loose from Area 51. I mean, what? You let it loose? So I don't know. We just don't know what that is. But I know in talking with Michael Schratt and going over some of these details on this, he says, no, that was not ours. It couldn't be. We just didn't have the technology to do what that did.
Yeah.
So, we don't have proof, but we do have eyewitness testimony. So there's a big difference between evidence, which is what we have, and proof. Yeah. We have the evidence in that we have mass amounts of eyewitness testimony. When you have that much eyewitness testimony, it becomes evidence.
Yeah.
We just can't call it proof because we don't have something tangible in our hand.